Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel to each and every one of you here as we are building up to Saturday's game at home against Las Palmas in La Liga. And coming up today, guys, we've got plenty on the agenda, particularly the words from Hansi Flick here as he spoke ahead of the game on the likes of Ronald, Araujo, Frenkie de Jong and Lamine Yamal. Because remember, Yamal is back. He can play this weekend and we're all excited to see him again. Today we're going to be talking about the potential lineup that we could see, and we have predictions, of course, of which I actually got right in the last game. It's a miracle. So come on, guys, and let's do it. But I would like to begin with a super thanks shout out here to Zicky Frenkie, big supporter of the channel. Thank you there for your support. And he points out that Hansi Flick is doing a really good job of trusting in what he has there, making the absolute best of the players at his disposal. And remember, when he arrived as the Barca coach, when Laporta put his faith in Flick here to restore the club, that was one of the big things here. Make the most of this talented squad. Squeeze every last drop of talent and potential out of it. And that is exactly what Flick is aiming to do here. And I just want to say, guys, ahead of this game on Saturday, be aware it's an earlier one. And I want to make that very clear here so that people don't actually miss the game. It kicks off at 2 p.m. local time on Saturday there. So a really early game. Difference in kickoff time. It's going to be interesting to see what the atmosphere is going to be like inside the stadium. It may be a little bit of a different feel this weekend, but I also want to say, guys, it's a very special day today because it is Barca's 125th anniversary, and that is a really special occasion. It's a special milestone, it's a special club, and there have been so many special moments along the way. Of course, Barca here making a graphic with so many of our legends, so many of the iconic figures who have made Barca the club that it is today. And I thought Flick's words ahead of the game were very special on the 125th anniversary. He was asked there, what does Barca mean to you? And he said it's an honour to be the coach of this team and at this marvellous club. He said, I really feel that it is Mescayan club, that it is more than a club. He said, I feel that every day that I'm here. And he said, today we'll be at the celebration and we will feel all of the emotions there. And I think Flick, since he's arrived at the club, has certainly become part of the culture here very quickly. He has settled in so well. He's really bought in to that Barca identity. And I think that stands him in really good stead. And nice to see him say there, it really is Mescayan club. He feels it. And each and every one of us here do every single day. But if we do focus on the job in hand this weekend, because coming into this weekend in La Liga, here is the league table, and the gap to Real Madrid, it is getting smaller. Now it stands at 4 points, and don't forget as well, Madrid have a game in hand, so that could easily become just the single point gap there at the top. Madrid play at home against Getafe on Sunday, and I think now the feeling is within everybody at the club, there's no time for errors. There is absolutely no space for mistakes, because obviously after the Clásico win against Real Madrid, we started to build quite a healthy gap at the top of the league, but I think with that gap maybe came a little bit of complacency, a bit of a lack of focus. But now I think we've got that focus back. You know, we took our eye off the ball maybe for one game or two, and that can be all it takes at times. So let that be a real lesson to Barca and all of the players here. Now the full focus is needed. Now the hard work continues. We must restore that gap and build upon our recent win. Because I think if we're looking at the recent form here from Barca and looking at that victory against Brest in the Champions League, it was an important one, you know, coming off back-to-back games there where we didn't honestly play well at all. We didn't get good results, but the performances are also way below par. And even before those games, we might have won. But again, the performances were a little bit questionable. So I think it's a really big win against Brest. We've got to take all of that confidence there into this game. And it's coming up against a team here in Las Palmas who are 17th in the league right now. It looks like they're going to be in a relegation scrap this season. But interestingly, so far this campaign, they've actually performed better away from home, so we should be aware of that there, but we are unbeaten in our last 8 matches against Las Palmas, 7 of those being victories. And I would just like to point out here, guys, that it's going to be a really special game this weekend for Pedri, who is not only coming into this game off an incredible performance against Brest, but don't forget that Pedri actually started his professional career with Las Palmas in the Segunda Division, and of course he was born as well in the Canary Islands. This will be the first time that he has ever faced Las Palmas in a professional game. He was out last season injured for both of our meetings against them, so it's going to be a special game for him. He's going to have a lot of emotions, and let's just hope that he plays in exactly the same way that we saw on Tuesday. But indeed, guys, ahead of this game, we do want to have a bit of an update on who's available, who's not available, what's the very latest on injuries, for example. Let's talk here about Ronald Araujo. Again, we spoke about him yesterday, and Flick followed up on that really today by saying he is training every day right now. He is making real progress on his recovery, and he did say that on Sunday, Araujo will participate in a small game there. It's likely to be something, again, that we see in a training session there to get you back into the feeling of playing matches. So that's the next step. He said, I won't give a specific date on his return, but he is very, very close. So Flick there saying basically, Araujo, he's in the final stages now of that recovery. We are looking at mid-December. We are looking at that Borussia Dortmund game in the Champions League. That is a rough guideline as to when we can expect him. But Flick is getting excited. He's got a real smile on his face every time that he talks about Araujo's return, and we are getting closer to making that happen. But what about De Jong? You know, what did he say there about De Jong? What did he make of the reaction maybe following the Champions League game in midweek? And certainly there, what is his own feelings on De Jong's level right now? Where exactly is he physically and also there mentally too? He said, we are all supporting him, but we have a lot of midfielders in the centre of the field, so I've got to decide which players are at 100%. And he did say, I will go back to him when he is, implying there that Frenkie is not there right now, but when he is, he will go back to him. He said the situation is that he is having minutes right now and he is progressing. But what is interesting, I feel, about Frenkie and the whole Flick situation is that, don't forget, not long after Frenkie came back, he did actually start playing him from the beginning of games again. You know, we saw him start against Red Star, we saw him start against Real Sociedad. He was starting to actually pick up quite a lot of minutes in this team, but now suddenly he's been reduced again to a minimal part in games. And Flick actually said 3 or 4 weeks ago when he first came back, I felt differently. He did admit there that things have changed a bit in the past few weeks. He said he took a big hit in Belgrade against Red Star. He said it was very painful for Frenkie, but he said now he's got to regain his confidence. And for us, the most important thing is to win. So I have to have the best team available on the pitch there. So Flick admitting that things have changed a bit, that Frenkie did pick up a bit of a knock in Belgrade, and that right now his minutes again have been reduced. And it's going to be interesting to see, given our absence in midfield in this game that we're going to talk about, what happens in this game at the weekend. But then, of course, we come on to talk about the main man, Lamine Yamal. He is back, and he is available to play in this match. And even just saying those words, it fills me with joy. It fills me there with real excitement that we get to see this young man out there again, doing his thing and absolutely dominating defences. That is what we want to see, and that is what we will see. But will we see it from the start against Las Palmas? How quickly here will Lamine Yamal be reintroduced to the lineup? And Flick today said Yamal is back, he is ready to play, and we haven't decided yet if he's going to start this game, but he will play. That is the plan. The best team will play tomorrow. So Flick, they're saying that definitely Yamal will be involved. He will make his return from injury tomorrow. But the massive question is, will he start this game? Should he start this game? In your opinion, guys, looking at the way the game is here against Las Palmas, looking at the fixtures maybe that we have to come as well, is this the moment to play Yamal from the start, or should we wait? Because if we do start to look into what the lineup could be on Saturday there, the first thing that we have to say is there will be, unfortunately, no Marc Casado there. He'll be suspended after his red card, of course, against Celta Vigo. He will serve a one-match ban in this game, and it will be a massive miss in our midfield. I mean, even in that game against Celta Vigo, when he was sent off, we really noticed it. We really did see a big hole in our midfield, and of course, this is the game here where Casado will get a bit of rest. rest. You know, that's a good thing here for him to just sit this one out. But we will miss him, and he will need to be replaced. And there are also a few doubts here coming into this game, guys, about Inigo Martinez. Some doubts in the media there saying that he may have muscle discomfort, that he may not be risked by Hansi Flick for this game. So we're going to have to wait and see what the latest is on Inigo, and if he is ready to start. And I would just like to say as well, one player that I really like to see getting some minutes. I'm not going to say start him all the time, but I would like to see him consistently coming off the bench, getting an opportunity in games. That's Pablo Torre. I would like to see that continue there. He's a player I feel will have a lot of talent. He came on against Brest, also showed some good glimpses, so I would like to see more and more and more of our exciting Pablo Torre. But in terms of the starting lineup here, of course it's still going to be Iñaki Peña in goal. Then if possible along the back line, I would like to see us go as strong as we possibly can. You know, we haven't seen our Gala back four for quite a while now, quite a few games. So Koundé, Pau, Inigo and Balde, if everybody is ready to start. But I would just say, if Inigo Martinez can't play, maybe we could just reshuffle things a bit. Maybe actually we could play Koundé and Pau as the centre-backs, and then Hector Ford at right back in his natural full-back position. That's an option there for Hansi Flick if Inigo Martinez can't play, but let's hope that he can. And then in midfield, alongside Pedri there at the base, that's where I want to see Pedri. I think deeper is better for him. You know, I don't want to see him too far advanced up the field, because you always want him involved. You want him to have the ability to pick up the ball, to actually receive it from defence, to make his way forward, and to basically be able to control the play in the way that he does. So I would keep him there in that deeper role. Alongside him, though, replacing Casado, I think you replace intensity with intensity, and that is why Gavi would be Pedri's partner for me in this game there. Those two in midfield starting together, it looks perfect. It is perfect. Let's see those two in midfield, and then in attack, I would actually go here for Rafinha from the right, Olmo down the middle, Firmine from the left. I would actually replicate what we did against Brest there in the Champions League. It was good enough for that game. We have to assume here that we can do it again, that it will be good enough against Las Palmas with Lewandowski leading the line, because honestly, guys, I wouldn't really be looking to start Yamal here. You know, I know he's back, and I know we're all very eager to see him, but I just don't want to see us take any risks at all with him. And he actually has been out here for several weeks. You know, you think about the international break, you think here about waiting to make his return. So I would just be very, very cautious with him. You can bring him on later. You can give him a few minutes here to reintroduce him. And of course, if needed, we can bring him on. But I wouldn't be starting him. Let's not burden him immediately here after just returning from injury. But let's see what the coaching staff decide before we then do move on to the all-important predictions here right now, because has the confidence been restored in the Barca fan base after that win in the Champions League? Many people now thinking, okay, we can start to kick on again, and lots of people believing here that Barca will win by 3 or 4 goals against Las Palmas, and a quarter of you think that it could be by 5+ goals, and that would be an absolutely incredible thing. But I'm going to go here, guys, and like I say, I was okay against Brest. That prediction was quite decent of 3-0. I'm going to say here, Barca 4, Las Palmas 1. I think maybe we might concede a goal. It might just happen in this game, but we will score. Make absolutely no doubt about it. And we will continue the good feelings that we have again. We must stick to this path, and we must see 100% focus and effort in this game. Please do let me know, guys, what your predictions are. Who's going to score the first goal? What's the final score going to be? And all importantly as well, how would you line up on Saturday afternoon against Las Palmas? I will see all of you guys for full reaction after the game, and it will be earlier, a lot earlier than usual. I will see you then. Thank you indeed, though, for watching. But until next time, yeah, as always, Vizca, here Barca.